Yeah, Soldier Hard, y'all. I'm on this long road to recovery. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to my world, y'all. Yeah, rock with me.
You see, I've been through it all, from fighting in wars, but I died for freedom, that's a real good cause. I said yes, cause the mother said no. There's a war going on, get me right for let's go. They trained me to kill, yeah, they called me the kill machine. Now I'm out, look what this war did to me. I keep fighting cause I need a change. I know deep down inside, yeah, ain't the same. I wanna be like I used to. I wanna smile, I wanna laugh, yeah, you're like I'm supposed to. But I'm someone can get close to. I walk alone by myself, don't speak, I don't know you. I just really wanna get away and keep popping Percocet pills just to take the pain away. Yeah, nobody understands me or even really care enough about me. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just wanna be all alone, don't bother me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just want the pain to go away, far away from me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just wanna be all alone, don't bother me. Your time is hella hard, it's slowing down my pace, and you can see all the pain written on my face. The nightmares, cold sweats, I don't wanna live. Shrink sessions, yeah, something's gotta give. I used to be emotional, now emotionless. I don't even care no more, I don't even give a shh. I don't like to be in crowds, I stay away from all. I'm safe by myself, I roll with one homie, my loaded gun on me. My mind keeps working and playing tricks on me. Every noise I hear, I'm ready, let's go. My body's here at home, my mind's still at war. Yeah, I stay alone, don't bother me. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just wanna be all alone, don't bother me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I just want the pain to go away, far away from me. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. It's a really long road, I'm talking hella far. I can't turn back now, keep going, go hard. I'm proud who I am, my country I serve. When I feel down and out, I just read Proverbs. I know what I've been through, I did what I had to. Can't forget about the past, though I tried to. I want this pain to get away from me. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be okay, oh yeah, like it used to be. I'm on the road to recovery. I'm on the road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be cool now, the pain went away from me. On the road to recovery. On this road to recovery. Yeah, I'm on the road to recovery. I'ma be okay, oh yeah, like it used to be. I'm on
Tone 1, music.
If you're fighting the good fight,
Soldier hard,
don't give up.
about to light up the dark.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky.
Yeah.
If you're fighting the good fight, don't give up.
Nah, I never give up.
If you fall to your knees,
That's right.
look up to the sky.
I failed many times, failed many dreams, impossible to achieve. At the time it seems it was hard to believe. I didn't see how to shine a bright light inside of me. December 23, 2014, the pressure kept on controlling me. 45 Ruger kept tempting me to take me away from reality, but reality I was blind to see. I was on my knees, I didn't have to be. Stood back up, reached down in my soul. I will not live life like this no more. Fail no more, scream no more. Too many dead vets, we don't need no more. Negative thoughts took over till I kicked it up high and out the door. Yeah.
If you're fighting the good fight,
If you're still fighting,
don't give up.
nah, I never give up.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky. You'll
See the light,
see the light. You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
keep fighting.
See the light. See the light.
See the light.
You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
Fall to your knees, look up at the sky. Don't give up, you gotta keep trying, keep searching for a right path. You will find your mission in life, leave the bad behind. I know a lot of combat vets didn't quit. Marty Gonzalez kept handling it. Boom Cutler, Rip Collier, staying true, meaning of a war fighter. Against all odds was dealt a bad hand. Rise from the ashes, still they stand. Kept going and going according to plan. Was destined to fail for less of a man, but stopping and quitting was a no-no. Fly inside them like an inferno, so they took flight like an eagle, like a full bird colonel.
If you're fighting the good fight,
If you're still fighting,
don't give up.
nah, I never give up.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky. You'll see the light.
See the light,
See the light. You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
keep fighting.
See the light. See the light.
See the light.
You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah, I've been hated by many and loved by few. Fell down plenty, held down like glue. Kept on going through the obstacles, overcame everything I've been through. In time I knew I'd break through. Rise like used to, then pursue. Withdrew all doubts, then push through. Keeping it simple and keeping it going. Even though people, you hate what I'm doing. They can't hate me, but they can't break me. Achieving my dreams, I keep pursuing and staying fluid. Put a roadblock up, yup, I'm going through it. I'm fueled by those who doubt me. Tell me no when I'ma do it. Yeah.
If you're fighting the good fight,
If you're still fighting,
don't give up.
nah, I never give up.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky. You'll see the light.
See the light,
See the light. You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
keep fighting.
See the light. See the light.
See the light,
You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight. See the light. You're not alone.
All right. Hey, this is Looking Glass with me, Gonzo, the host. Sorry, I was running a little bit late. And last weekend, and I'm sorry, I spaced the show. I really did. I was a day behind. I don't know how, but I ended up a day behind. So I'll just jump into it since I was a little bit late today. I wanted to talk today about recovery, about when we're in our rehabilitation phase, when we're getting back, and when we're trying to take care of ourselves. You know, when we're trying to figure out what's going on with our heads, when we're trying to figure out where we want to go, what we want to do, like when we finally get that time to take a pause and figure out what's going on with life, right? I know I've heard it plenty of times, especially recently, that I'm being selfish, that I'm all about myself, that I don't care about anybody else, which isn't true. I care more about other people than I do myself, honestly, and I do more for others than I'll do for myself, which is why it's kind of an issue, and which is what I think a lot of service members face. And we're doing a lot of stuff for other people, and it's like people still call it selfish, and it hurts. I mean, even me, I don't really usually let what people say affect me, but I do hear what people say, and I do check myself. I do see if I might not recognize it or might not acknowledge it, but I will go back and I will evaluate and see if what that person said was true or not, if I really am doing that or not. But not a lot of people do that. So, I mean, I'm sure, Bojo, I'm sure you're out there. I'm sure you've been told a few times that you're a little bit selfish, right? Amy, I'm sure you've thought that Taylor or your husband was a little selfish. Look at Amy Rand. But I know Bojo agreed with me, right? Bojo, you've been, I'm sure, accused of being jealous. Or not jealous, but selfish. Because I know you have to be. I mean, recovery, you have to be taking care of yourself. And if you don't take care of yourself, what are you going to have to give to other people? What are you going to have to take care of other people? You know what I mean? If you're constantly just wearing yourself out, just stretching yourself thin, you got nothing left for anybody else, you know? So then what's left? You just ruined yourself trying to help somebody else, and now you're both done. And that makes no sense. It's kind of like when you're going down an airplane, they tell you to put your mask on first before you put your kid's mask on so that you're worth the damn to help them. Because if you pass out, you can't help them. So it's the same thing. If you can't help yourself, you can't help anybody else, you know? And for example, can't hear comments. But anyways, oh, I'm sorry, that threw me off. What was I gonna say? I lost my track of where I was. Somebody throw it out there for me. Anyways, let me get back to it. So I mean, there's a difference in narcissism and egocentrism. You know what I mean? A lot of people will think that you're just being all about you and you're just thinking that you're awesome, or you're so focused on yourself that you're just so conceited and just so into yourself because that's all you're focused on. But at the end of the day, when you focused on everything else, it's what's there left, you know? One thing one of my therapists had told me a long time ago that kind of struck with me was maybe I was addicted to, or maybe I was addicted or kind of stuck with the stress, with the chaos, you know, that I grew up with so much chaos, that I lived in so much chaos that I had grown comfortable there, that was my comfort spot, that when things are going crazy, when everybody's flipping out, that's when I feel right. That's when things are normal for me. That's when I'm comfortable and I see clear. But when things are going good and things are fine and there's nothing to worry about and everybody's like, oh man, you're doing so great, that's when I'm the most freaked out, because that's when I'm waiting for that next fight to start. That's when I'm waiting for that next occurrence to happen, so that way I can start getting it on. You know, that way I could remember it. And that's where I've gotten. Thanks, Ernie. I was like, that just threw me off right now when I seen the Looking Glass quote, like talk to me. So anyways, back to what I was saying. One of the things that causes this, though, is they say that is you get stuck in a kind of like with PTSD and stuff. You get stuck in a certain life cycle or a certain development stage that you can't get out of until your mind functions and it processes that. Well, that's what happens with combat, you know. And when what people forget is that just like incarcerated youth, just like the guys that get locked up for a long time and stuff, they miss certain life stages of natural growth that we go through. You know, when you go through high school and middle school and stuff, everybody accepts that the kids are going to start dating, kids are going to start getting interested in other sexes, and, you know, things are going to start happening. But for some of these kids that get into juvenile trouble or something, you know, at an early age, they don't get that same activity. They don't learn how to socialize and meet women or guys, or they don't know how to get a job. They don't learn those certain social skills that we learn at that age, and that kind of sets them behind, you know. Or they might learn them, but they might learn them in a different way, which kind of sets them apart, not even behind, just it segregates them. And that's the same thing that happens in combat. You know, most of the guys, people forget that our wars are fought by 19 to 24 year olds. There's very few people on the battlefield over 28 that are usually in a command position anyways. So it's a lot of kids, you know, and those kids are they're still in that pre-adulthood, you know, life stage where they're supposed to be going to college and kind of learning how to finally like finish off getting a job and, you know, starting to learn how to take care of family and the different joys of being a homeowner, stuff like that. We didn't get that, you know. We were too busy destroying homes and blowing up stuff. And so when we get back, you know, we had that same development delay, I guess you could say, for the most part, because we were doing something different, you know. But that's one thing that we got to remember. You know, we got to remember that it's not that we were different. I think we just got kind of off track of our life path. Yep, I got you, chat. Everyone has to be selfish to be themselves. Yeah, I mean, everybody does have to be selfish to be themselves, but at the same time, it's everybody needs to acknowledge that being selfish is not even really being selfish, because when you're taking care of yourself, you're taking your own time and you're working on you, which is freeing up somebody else's time from not having to deal with you. You know what I mean? And I don't want to say it like that, but I mean that's really what it boils down to. If you're not taking up that resource of the social worker or the battle blade that has the knowledge of what needs to be done, because you can take care of it, he can now go on and help somebody else that might need it more. Or he might have enough time now to work on himself that he's been needing to do. That's one easy way that sergeants get out of helping anybody. Or that's how they get out of no, I'm sorry, I lost it. I gotta tell you, when I'm doing my show and people hit me and I'm getting messages on my phone, it's very, very frustrating, because between my TBI and between my not being able to pay attention half the time, when I get phone calls and messages, it's very frustrating. But I'm gonna go ahead and take a commercial break real quick and get these sponsors out of the way. Let's see.
This flag isn't backwards, it's assaulting forward. Born was a nation of independence, who made the choice to make their lives and their families' lives better. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We carry on that tradition today. Fight on, break through, never quit. This flag isn't backwards, it's assaulting forward. We are grunt style, and this will defend.
You're listening to Veteran Radio Syndicate, brought to you by Alpha Outpost. Want the gift that keeps on giving every month that you actually want? Each month, you'll be receiving a box filled with gear that a true American patriot would want. Your first month, you'll be getting the everyday carry. It comes with a badass bag to hold all your gear. So head over to alphaoutpost.com today and grab America by the box.
Veterans a day commit suicide. 20 a day. Active Heroes, a 501c3 charity, is on a mission to end veteran suicide with peer mentors like you. For a $30 donation, you can become a trained and certified peer mentor to help heal local vets and their families. Join now and be listed on the Active Heroes resource map to connect with local veterans. Visit activeheroes.org to join and learn more.
Comes a time in a man's life that laughter becomes the best medicine. Visit the5b.com today and embrace the Bravo. Titty Sprinkles.
Hey everyone, John Burke here. More and more these days we're seeing social justice warriors demand that we conform to their weak-minded way of thinking. Well, if you're like me, I get sick and tired of it. So at itagear.com, we are now running clothing that is so damn offensive, it'll send the little snowflakes running for their safe spaces and into the arms of their gender studies professors. So if you like practicing your First Amendment right by wearing offensive clothing, then ITA Gear is just what you're looking for. Let them burn flags, we can wear shirts that trigger them. Once again, that's itagear.com, veteran-owned and operated.
All right. So I just wanted to touch on one more thing. It's a trip too. My phone's catching me, but I just want to touch on one more thing about the whole, being selfish part or whatever, and identifying that some people will try to be in their phase of recovery and they're trying to say, because that is actual stage of recovery or rehabilitation is being selfish. There's a selfish stage where you have to look after yourself. You have to figure out what's like what you need, like what do you got to work on. And I think that could be one of the most daunting parts for people, is actually having to look at yourself and kind of take a real assessment and a noble what's really going on here. A reality check. That's not easy for most people. Most people don't like the truth and they don't want to admit that they aren't what they can be or what they should be or what they used to be, which is okay, because none of us are ever going to be what we were 10 minutes ago. You guys just found out that I'm a little worse off of my TBI than you probably thought I was. So, you can never unknow that. But at the end of the day, you can never go back. So you just got to identify that. And for me, I know that I see now that I am kind of comfortable with chaos. I am comfortable when things are going a little chaotic or whatever. That's when my head's the clearest. And that's why I like to go fast on the bike. When things seem so chaotic, everything's going by so fast and everything's coming up so quick, you don't really have time to think, and that chaos, that quick reaction, that's what I thrive on. That's what I feel comfortable. So, and I didn't realize it, but I'm sitting there and, I would jump into everybody else's problems and help them out with theirs way before I'd even try to tackle mine. And there'd be a lot of people going through the same stuff as me, which would let me know, okay, I'm not the only one dealing with this. But at the end of the day, I'd be frustrated because I can help them work through their problems in minutes. I could show them the way easily. Look at my own stuff and I don't even deal with it. I won't deal with it. I just push it off the side. I refuse to, which I never understood. But that's because that'll end my chaos. If I don't have that, if I don't push it off and I just deal with it, then it's gone and then I won't have it. So that's part of the reason why I won't, deal with things. I just keep pushing it off. So it's like a little bit of chaos, kind of a little bit of turmoil in the back of my mind that kind of keeps me comfortable, kind of like a little pocket dose or something you could say. But when it comes down to it, like it gives the person that's doing that a false sense of having their own stuff under control, because they're like, I got it. See, I helped them with theirs. I helped them with theirs. Same thing. It's nothing. I can do mine if I want to. But that's kind of just enabling yourself, because you're lying to yourself by saying that you're okay because you're doing that. Like a lot of people, when they get stressed out, they'll clean. They'll just start cleaning top to bottom the house, just real crazy. And what they're failing to realize is that that's because there's a lack of order in their life somewhere else. Like a lot of people will start cleaning like that, real crazy, like because it gives them a sense of control over something that they can control. Whereas there's some part of their life that obviously they probably are having a hard time control, like a bad relationship or something like that you just really can't dictate with just one person. I figured there'd be more interaction on this one. No, go ahead. You can send it. I figured there'd be more interaction, but I appreciate the interaction when it's like towards the topic and it's kind of keeping things moving. But when it's some random stuff, it takes me off topic and then it takes me the wrong way. Yeah, send it to me, whatever. If you guys want to jump on Skype, you can jump on Skype. Just look me up, Algonzo Mudville Mentality. It's my other show. And I don't even think my Skype's on right now. I was running late. But if somebody wants to jump on, I can do that. So what's going on out there? Oh, there's another thing I wanted to talk about too, if nobody has anything for this. Alright, I'm gonna bring up another screen real quick. Let's see.
President Trump making military.
Why is this? Refresh. See it? You can hear it.
Military policy via Twitter. Today, suddenly announcing the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military, sparking instant criticism from Democrats and Republicans.
I believe that is an awful decision. I served on active duty in the military, and I can tell you, we don't care about gender orientation or identity.
Bob, I won't let anybody help. I have a hard time.
Senator John McCain, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, also saying
yes, the transgenders
there is no reason
how you
for
feel about
service
that?
members who are able to fight, train, and deploy to leave the military regardless of their gender identity.
Everyone
but some lawmakers agree with the
they're gonna see it again. But my thing is that what does it matter if you can if you're old enough to serve, you're old enough to serve. Like if whatever you decide to take at night to help you go to sleep doesn't matter. It doesn't weigh in on if you can take a body or not. The whole sexual orientation stuff is ridiculous to me. And then I have a different view on it though, because we were in all male units where I was at, so there's nothing but guys, there's nothing but testosterone, and there weren't very many women around, so we were pretty chauvinist. We were very a bunch of macho crap going on. So there wasn't a lot of the feminine issues, I guess you could say, or the emotional stuff for the most part, even though there are a lot of emotional men out there. Oh, you remember, it was at Irwin. He was a good dude. He was a little scrawny guy. I can't even remember his name right now, but everybody knew he was kind of off. Everybody kept calling him, saying he was gay. Everybody thought he was gay. You know, he really had that kind of vibe. He had that presence about him. Nobody knew for sure, but it was pretty apparent. And this was still at a time when it was don't ask, don't tell. So, you know, nobody wanted to know or whatever. But one day we had this staff sergeant come in, and I remember I was at a platoon sergeant meeting, and he comes running in, and he's like, "You guys have got to see this. You got to see this. You will never guess what I found. Ooh, I finally got him." And he like throws his laptop on the top's desk and opens it up, and there's this profile, you know, of the soldier, and very much homosexual, and looking for homosexual favors, I guess you could say. Everybody jumped on that and were so, oh my god, and I was the only one that raised the question, but why did you find, like, how were you on there? Like, what, how are we missing that fact? Like, you can't out somebody when you were there. Like, if he was just sucking your dick, that makes you just as guilty. But anyways, when that came out, it was like night and day. Everybody had already assumed it. Everybody had already been messing with them about it. Everybody was already giving all kinds of crap about it. But when they knew for sure, when it actually came out that he was, and when you hit him up after that, and he would tell you straight up, "Yeah, I am," because nobody had ever asked him. Everybody kind of told him and teased him, and he just didn't acknowledge it. But when you asked him, he would tell you. Dudes turned their back on him. Dudes would not go to dinner with him. They wouldn't go to chow with him. They wouldn't. It was like they didn't want to catch the gay. Like they did. They were afraid that it was airborne or something. And it was ridiculous. It was like night and day, and it was. That was probably one of the few times I was ashamed of the soldiers, because it was bad. You know, they really did. They went from, and that's what I didn't understand. I could understand if somebody that was like, you know, like a macho dude that like just was always in the locker room with everybody, and everybody just felt comfortable and just never thought that he was perving on them, and he was. Like, that would kind of mess you a little bit more, I guess. But when you already think the dude is, and then it finally comes out, why would you be cool with him when you thought he was, but when he actually is, you know, it's not cool no more? Like, that didn't make no sense to me. So, I mean, having him openly in the military, I could see could still be an issue, but nobody addresses really the issue of the thought process of who gives a shit. Like, why does it matter? Why does it matter their sexual preference when they're trying to sling rounds? Like, are you worried they're going to grab your junk in the middle of a firefight? Because I promise you none of you are that cute. I promise you none of you look that good that in a firefight somebody's going to drop their stuff to try and rape you. Like, I bet that. The hormones and stuff they go through would concern me, meds they have to take to regulate, but yeah, I mean, there is that concern of, like, you know, the different types of supplements and new medications they have to take to keep up their hormone levels and stuff. But it's the same thing for women in combat, and they do it. I know there's stuff that they could take that stops it for a while, or like shifts their cycles, and so I mean that's all stuff that have to be looked at on a case-by-case basis. But to say none of them can, especially if you got some transgender women who, you know, were dudes that became women that are like just super women now that, like, you know, could be underestimated or something, might make some interesting, you know, interesting troops, in my opinion. Causing racism government, light duty. I don't understand that. And yeah, I know you a GBG. You be out there banging the gangbang gangsters. So that's it. Yeah, I was really wondering, like, I don't know where they were going with that. I couldn't believe it got outrageous though for a minute, because I know I was seeing stuff where the commissary was having a big rainbow like banners and all kinds of like gay pride stuff for the I guess, I don't even know, is it a holiday? Is it a I think what people are mad about is having to pay for the sex change. Okay, see, I didn't see that part. They're talking about paying for the sex change. That's, yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, that's kind of an elective surgery. If you want to not have to clean your strap on, then you should have to pay it yourself. I mean, I know a lot of people that had to get surgeries for their kids and stuff that were like necessity type stuff that they had to come out of pocket for, and you're going to tell me that you want to, you know, you want a different meat package, so you're going to get it paid? Nah, that don't sound right. But why would they need to work light duty until they got to their job? Like, if you are saying you're going to be the opposite sex, or you genuinely feel you are the opposite sex, what do you need a light duty for? Exactly, mission first. Now, if they can do the mission, so be it. If not, so be it. Same thing as any other soldier. It doesn't matter what they're doing on their off time. You know what I mean? And if a chick can sling rounds like we can, then more power to her. I mean, I know dudes that can't. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a few women that can. Mess with the hormones as well. So it's, yeah, I mean, the medications, look at the crap they have us on just for whatever, just for our PTSD. And then there's going to be all kinds of, you know, sexual trauma claims and oh, why didn't I get 100% for this because they were mean to me because I'm transgender. Like, you're bringing on a lot of unnecessary issues to yourself with all that. Like, really, the best way to go through basic and your military career usually is to be that guy nobody knows, like to have your name be forgotten because you don't really screw up or stick out. So when you want to stick out like that, you're just bringing a world of attention to yourself that you're probably not going to like. Also, they're inducted into the military are allowed to go to boot as their selected gender, telling female soldiers be ready to see females with male genitalia. Well, I mean, and at that point, we're all over 18. We're all adults. Like, deal with it. like, deal with it. And if it's truly a transgender, they believe they are. They inside they are the opposite sex. So it's like it's no different than another woman looking at another woman. You know what I mean? It's really not. You know, the transgenders, they really do, like, in their heart and their mind and everything. It's just the wrong body. You know, so it's weird. I mean, it's not weird. It's different, but that's got to be understood. And that's where people, I think, get too narrow-minded in their own belief to where they're like, well, if it doesn't make sense to me, it's not right. If it doesn't seem right over here, if it doesn't look the way I look, then it's not normal. It's not right, which is completely ass backwards, but that's the way America thinks. Military owns you and must take care of mental health at all times. Well, it does say on your military ID that you are government property. You are government issue. That's what GI is, government issue. And if you wanted or if they want you to have family, you get it issued to you, which they don't. But to say that that they own us and they must take care of our mental health, people need to take responsibility of their own mental health because it's your mental health. And a lot of people didn't go into the military sane. Most sane people probably wouldn't join the military. So a lot of these claims where it's like, oh, well, this all happened on service, when knowing damn well most of it happened back prior service, is bull. And people keep trying to play it up and keep trying to play the victim. And see, that's you're feeding into the whole victim mentality, and you're already trying to put excuses out there for people. And that's ridiculous. That's what's going to keep it going. When they barely take care of the... But see, bro, and that's the problem, though. How many times, bro, especially you're hard-headed ass, how many times did you go to sick call for everything that you're hurting for? You know what I mean? Dudes need to help the VA help them. You cannot, I'm telling you cannot go a year prior to getting out and then try to get this big PTSD claim because of stuff that happened to you 8 years ago that you were trying to toughen up, man up about. Well, you toughened up and man up, now you're going to have to deal with it. You know, and you can get that stuff instated later, but they got to get the paperwork. They got to get the history of it being an issue. They can't just cash you out for you saying that it was an issue for a long time. You know, a lot of people trip out on my retirement, but at the same time, if you look through my medical records, like I said, from the invasion, right when I got back from the invasion, my very first platoon sergeant, first class Darnell, he was like, "Where are you guys going at? First place you going when we get back? Where are we going?" Everything, oh yeah, bar, you know, a couple people, whorehouse, red light. He's like, mental health, every last one of you. He's like, every last one of you, and I'm first. And he did. He marched us down there, and he led the way. He went in first and made it okay for us to seek therapies. I mean, like I remember when we lost Lieutenant Ballard, when they had the stress team come out, I about threw one of the dudes across the room because they were questioning what his name was. They couldn't remember what his name was, which was very insulting to me. If that's your whole purpose is to be there for the loss of that person, you might want to know their name. But how much you recorded? Problem was the wait. I had to go to the civilian side. Yeah, and that gets stuff messed up too. Is when you gotta mix your civilian records with your military records, and they're trying to talk back and forth. But it's like, I mean, it's not a perfect system, but a lot of people, too many people, will sit there and want to have 26 claims when they've been sick call twice in 8 years, and it's like that doesn't work. You know, there's some bull there somewhere. So. And they can see through it, you know, and that's why people get frustrated, but they won't tell you their end of it. They won't tell you all the stuff that they did or didn't do. Like, I know, I'd say it all the time, I don't utilize my stuff as much as I should, as much as I can, as much as I need to. But I'm trying. Each person grows up different ways, easy or hard, enjoying this so young. Some parents are. Okay, that one didn't even make sense. That comment. It was all over the place. What's up, Claudia? Claudia, aka the home wrecker, just showed up. So any married guys might want to take off because she like wrecking marriages and stuff for being in the area. Let's even go back up here. They're getting drafted. They actually want to go out and fight for our country. Why is this even an issue? Exactly. They're showing a character not many people. And that's true. I mean, you know, that's just like guys that are non-American citizens that come in and from other countries, like my brother Diaz. You know, he did the invasion with me as our supply sergeant, and then he did the second deployment with me and earned his Purple Heart on the second one. I believe it was when we took him to go get his citizenship test. We had to drive him across Ramadi and a couple other real dangerous areas just so he could take his nationalization test, his citizenship test, in Iraq on his second deployment. And then he got wounded coming back from it. But that's how remedial our country is. You know, you could pledge allegiance to them, you could go serve in combat for them, but they still want you to take this test to prove that you're American that I guarantee you 90% of the people on my page could not pass. Guarantee you. And they're all American ones. Guarantee you wouldn't pass. Because that stuff's hard. I helped Diaz study for that, and it's why. Like, you even have 90% of that stuff you don't even know. Who pays for a botched sex change? Will they be 100% medically discharged? That's a good question. A botched sex change, would that be a medical retirement, or would that be a my bad, you're still a dude kind of? You're half the man you used to be like that. I don't know. That's a tough one. So I mean, I don't know. That could go either way, and that's one thing that gets me so upset is that it's like, dude, you're the ones, you know, causing this uproar by, you know, going against the grain and being in people's face. That's awesome. I love it. I love being the oddball. I like, you know, standing up against the norm. But when you do that, you gotta expect waves. Like, you can't get so offended and be like, oh my God, they're so upset. Or if you can take a dick, you should be able to take a joke, which means you should be able to take a life. So none of that should even be relevant, which I go with on that one. But at the same time, I wonder what they're covering. I wonder what they're trying to hide right now. Because, you know, normally when stuff like that comes out in the media, it's usually just to distract you because they're trying to pass something or they're trying to get something snuck around that they don't want everybody to see. Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but, you know, it is what it is. Surgeries, they tell you could die. Yeah, you can die. They tell you could die just about anything. You could die across the street. But surgeries, generally, when they cut you open, you always run the risk of dying. My tea jug. What's your take? So, I don't know. Anybody got anything else? I feed up the interaction. I like the interaction. Let's see. Yeah. Trying to see if I missed any comments. Were they molested? That is a question that, again, is totally case by case specific. But if you're asking if transgender people become that way due to sexual trauma, no, absolutely not. I'm sure that could be a reason why some may choose to identify with the opposite sex after being treated that way so many times, but usually transgender, I believe, from what I've read, is something at birth. It's something within them that everything in them is, all their genetic coding is telling them that they are a female, that they are a woman, but their body is male. Like, and it's such a mind fuck for them alone, because could you imagine like feeling like you're just in the wrong body, like you just want to change your clothes but you can't? You know what I mean? Like, that would suck. Hemp tea, no, that would be awesome. That's why I just smoke the hemp and then drink the tea, because it's kind of like hemp tea. Don't let this distract you from the fact that in 1966, Al Bundy scored 4 touchdowns in a single game while playing for the Polk High School Panthers. This is true. That is, you know what? And Al Bundy is the epitome of a man. He is all that is man. I'm telling you, that was what was funny to me in school. That's the first time I seen the real age gap between me and the other guy, the other students there, was when I had used Married with Children as an example of culture and home and marital life back in, you know, the 70s, 80s, early 90s. I said, and if you look now, if you look at Modern Family, that's more of a realistic look at today's blended, you know, divorced. You know, it's got all the different dynamics. Gay couple, adopted a foreign kid. Like any dynamic you see in a family is all in that one family, and it's still got Al Bundy in it, who's the father, who it's kind of like a spin-off of it. And it shows the contrast with having one of the same people in it. Transgender band, we just talked about that, Claudia. If you wasn't out wrecking homes, you would have heard it. my thoughts, doesn't really matter what I think. Yeah, I mean, if he's in the closet, he just needs to pick the shoes to jump out in, because most people that don't realize that when they're in the closet, most people know. A lot of people are already kind of sensing it, so it's not that big of a secret. I think there's been very few times where I've heard of people coming out that I haven't been like, yeah, checks out. Don't worry, at least you did, Claudia. At least you did. I'm sure we'll run into you again soon sometime. I'm sure there's some sort of event coming up. Or we can make another video and like ruin some more marriages. I served during Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We had dudes that were straight flamers. Yeah. Yes, they were cool, but their sexual orientation. Yeah, and the only thing that sucks about that is about, you know, the whole sexual orientation thing, is that for some troops it does. For some troops it does make a difference, and it will affect their service because other people won't let them serve. You know, other people will constantly be harassing them and constantly giving them crap, and it's not right. I mean, these dudes took the oath just like everybody else. These dudes are willing to go and serve the country when a lot of other people aren't. So what's the problem? You know, we'll let foreigners come and fight for us. We'll let everybody else come fight for us. So what's the issue? I think the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, honestly, probably was the best policy, because it's nobody's business to ask, and it's nobody's business really to share if it's going to make other people uncomfortable, you know, at the end of the day, if it's going to cause a rift in the unit. You know, they don't ask you to come out and share about your, you know, heterosexual experiences, though we do, just because, especially in all male units, it got talked about. But you don't, you know, that's just not something you talk about anyways. You're not supposed to be talking about it. So it being a policy is kind of sad that it even has to be a policy, but I mean, I understand it. I get it. I get why it's there. I think it's a useful tool. Yeah, kicking them out, that doesn't make no sense, because if you're going to kick them out, you might as well medically retire them, because if you say that you caused all this other trauma, then you caused the gay trauma too. Hey, just say 15% by switching my family to Geico. I just switched. Yeah, they saved, I think it was like 8.9 million out of the $50 trillion war dev budget or whatever by doing that. So they could have got the same like effect by, I don't know, going back to BDUs. Something with a wear out date of more than 4 days. All right, well, appreciate it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry I was late. I'm trying to get everything back together. I'm pretty close though. So I appreciate the support, and I'll see you guys on Saturday. I got another show. Let's see.
In love, damn my words. I thought you were in love, but I guess you weren't. You said you're unsure, you're confused. But what's confusing you when I love you? You had my babe when we were wrong. We were a whole, now I'm so lost. And I don't know what it did to make you wanna leave. Did you even mean what you said while I was overseas? I thought I was fighting for us, but now I'm fighting for me, yeah. Fighting for me, yeah. Was it worth to give my heart to you, and you cheated,
You promised you'd hold it down while I'm going away far out of town. Said you're loving me, thinking of me. You really changing, I don't know how. Deployed far away, you won't Skype with me. Talk on the phone, I felt your love for me. Time went by, you weren't there for me. For all the time I proceed carefully. Used to laugh, but never saw bad. Saying I love you, the thing of the past. I call all the time, you wouldn't answer my call. Emailing, but you wouldn't answer at all. I gave it so all, but you just let go. Do you still love me, but you just said no. You gave your heart to another guy. Told me lie after lie. Baby Kel says nothing. Now I'm left here to wonder why. Why she do it? I don't know. Love don't live here no more.
You and my babe when we were wrong. We were a whole, now I'm so lost. And I don't know what it did to make you wanna leave. Did you even mean what you said while I was overseas? I thought I was fighting for us, but now I'm fighting for me, yeah. Fighting for me, yeah. Was it worth to give my heart to you, and you cheated?
Came home, nowhere to go. No big homecoming at the airport. Nobody there, guess nobody cares. If nobody will, then I will, I swear, yeah. Gotta pick myself up, even though, yes, I'm just missing a much. Broken promises down in the press. Stuck in the bad dream, yes, I guess she cheated and cheated. Lied to betray me, deployed the war, she became so shady. Can't believe it when I call wifey would be the one just to play me. Now I'm sitting alone, keeping it going and going and moving it on. She made the bed, now laying it. I don't answer when she called my phone.
You and my babe when we were wrong. We were a whole, now I'm so lost. And I don't know what it did to make you wanna leave. Did you even mean what you said while I was overseas? I thought I was fighting for us, but now I'm fighting for me, yeah. Fighting for me, yeah. Was it worth to give my heart to you, and you cheated?
Rise above the flames, dust myself from all the ashes. I failed once before, but now I know it had to happen. I'm smiling now, it's okay. Back then there was no laughing matter. Now it's laughter, hell a happy life ever after. Now I'm thanking you for making me stronger and stronger. Back then life was a blur, life was darker and darker. It was hard and it got harder. Now numb to all the drama. We was once each other's armor. Now you gotta live with karma.
You and my baby